this video is exactly how men prefer to be treated. Now, we're talking about men, and men, they're very different, right? There's a variety of types of guys. We're talking about healthy guys. Unfortunately, most of the dating advice that people give is how to deal with men that are avoiding, how to deal with men that are incapable of connecting. That's the problem. And so a lot of women are taking advice and almost performing in a way that is meant to attract the difficult guys. That's the problem. When in reality, we don't want difficult people. So when it comes to how to treat a guy, first thing is what? I got my notes here, Quintisha. First thing is don't throw your pearls to pigs. Don't throw your pearls to pigs. A lot of y'all are giving the men that you shouldn't be seeing the time. You guys are giving so many chances to the wrong guys that are inconsistent, because I wrote my notes here. Guys that are inconsistent, right? Guys that you tolerate half-baked love, right? When you feel down, you don't feel secure enough to open up to them because you don't want to come across as needy. You don't want to look too desperate to have that talk. Listen, those strategies where you gotta go like that, they're not meant for good guys that are long term. They're not meant for that, okay? So that's the first thing, is that most of the advice that we get, most of the advice that you guys apply are for the very men who don't like you. Are for the very men, not even that they don't like you, they may like you, but that a lot of these guys are literally incapable of connecting with a woman they like, connected with a woman that they like, even if they like you, and to make her feel secure and feel relaxed around that guy, right? Some of y'all are going after guys that when you talk to them, you feel anxious. You feel excited, but it's anxious. Where you're performing, where you're not being yourself, where he's a challenge. Stop going after challenges. A guy that's ready for a relationship will be ready from the beginning. Plain and simple. From the beginning. There's no need to convince him. There's no need to have the talk. What are we? Listen. Go for the easy guys. The guys that from the beginning you could tell they like you. The guys who have the time to spend time with you. The guys who have the proper brain chemistry. I mean, you could tell from his family. His family is tight. He has a healthy relationship with his parents. All of these things a lot of times signal an emotionally unavailable guy. The problem, some of y'all are legit only going after the most difficult cases. Like, the problem is that, sounds like I'm pointing to you guys, but it's just some of you guys just have, let's just be honest, a lot of women have a toxic taste. Some of y'all do not like consistent men because some of y'all don't like guys that are considered boring, because a lot of times boring guys are the healthy guys, the consistent guys, the guys that have no drama. And so some of y'all, before we even talk about how to treat them, some of y'all are giving your attention to the wrong guy. So it's not a matter of how to treat him. It's a matter is that you're with the wrong guy. Right? When you're around them, you don't feel relaxed. You feel like you have to put up a strategy, or you don't want to have that talk. You don't want to tell them that you want long-term commitment because you don't want to look needy. Who gives a fuck if you look needy or not? But we are needy, okay? With the wrong guy, you're going to feel that hesitation. And that hesitation over time becomes a habit. The right guy from the beginning, it's easy. I swear to God, it's easy. The problem is that you just have to learn how to say no to the wrong guy. That's pretty much it, right? So that's the first thing, okay? Don't throw your pearls to the pigs. Good men find that unattractive, meaning when you entertain goofy, low-value men, and a guy finds out that you entertain that guy, a guy's not gonna want to. A serious guy's not gonna want to be in a relationship with you. I'm like, I don't want your used seconds. You know, like, oh, he dumped you, now you want to come back to me? Oh, really? Oh, you stayed with a guy that kept cheating on you? That doesn't reflect good on you, to be honest with you. It just doesn't. But you know what's beautiful? You don't have to say that, right? You don't have to reveal that happened, right? Just make sure that you don't tolerate it from the next person, okay? So that's one thing. Throwing your pearls to pigs a lot of times reflects how you see yourself. That's pretty much it. It reflects how you see yourself. If you're wasting your time with that loser, that's a reflection of how you might also see yourself. That's the first one. Okay, so the next one is through vasopressin bonding. Okay, we're gonna watch a video of this coach where he talks about vasopressin and how to bond with a guy using vasopressin. Well, pretty much, you're connecting with a guy through challenges. Okay, men connect through going through challenges, right? For example, some of my best friends, we play basketball together. In war, they call it war-tested troops. Like when you've gone through a few victories, over time, that overcoming those challenges develops a bond with your mates, with the people who you went to war with, right? But the problem is that a lot of women don't understand that's how the male brain works. We feel connected when we overcome challenges. And the problem is that even from the beginning, you're not a challenge to the guy. Because a lot of times you just like the guy so much that you forget to be a challenge. That's one thing, right? That's just one thing in the beginning. That's why I tell you guys, always go slow. But the next thing is that challenges can also be, for example, having sex and saying, let's try this, or maybe you haven't had an orgasm, right? So you give them that challenge on how to give you that, and you guys work on it, or maybe buy a book, right? Or maybe you guys feel like you don't connect the right way, so you talk to someone and you actually work to communicate better, right? Any challenges you have with the guy, if you guys face on those challenges and overcome them, it bonds him to you. So that means even parenting. Parenting is a way to bond, right? But remember, you gotta know how to handle stress, right? If you're with a guy that doesn't know how to handle stress, when you guys have challenges, it's gonna create more problems, right? The challenge should cause you guys to communicate more. It shouldn't cause him to attack you. That's a sign of a guy with low self-awareness. This is why you could do the right thing on the wrong guy, and it's gonna be like you never even did the right thing. Like so much matters about your selection and your taste in men more than almost anything. Y'all, I'm literally talking to women because I get a lot of calls. Y'all are attracted to guys who don't deserve to be treated well. That's all. Like and a lot of the times, the good guys that are gonna treat you well, y'all might find it boring. Or he might not be toxic enough, or he might not be creative enough, or he might not have enough money. And those are good priorities to have. Don't get me wrong, but it's just that's not everything. Challenging men, you can never do anything right with them. So remember, connecting through vasopressin. Also, vasopressin can be assembling furniture together. You guys order an IKEA furniture and you guys assemble it. Right? It could be overcoming personal challenges, right? It could be that you guys, maybe he smokes and he's trying to stop smoking. Maybe he gained weight and he's trying to go to the gym, right? Anything that you guys can work on together and build upon it. That's why a lot of people fall in love when they work together, right? Because they overcome challenges. A lot of people, even actors and actresses, they may get to know each other, but as they begin to shoot, and they spend time together, they fall in love because of just the constant working together, constant communication, constant challenges when it comes to making movies, that they eventually end up falling in love, right? So even therapists, a lot of women fall in love with their therapist because a lot of men will fall in love with their female therapist because she's helping them, right? Guys connect a lot more when they're working with someone, working together and overcoming something. That's just how it is. And a lot of ladies just don't do that. You guys don't give guys challenges. And it's not that you gotta make it super difficult, but challenges can be, it could be maybe, ladies and gentlemen, Father Alex froze his mind. I'm like, oh my God, Father Alex froze. Yeah, that's one thing, all right? So overcoming challenges. Now we're gonna go to a quick little commercial break and then we're gonna get back with the video. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, check out my new course, The Commitment Formula. You can pre-order it right now.
and you can get it at a discounted rate. This course is meant to help you get out of situationships. This course to help you to get into relationships, to get commitment. I mean, I've gotten a bunch of testimonies of women getting married, even having kids. I mean, a woman came up to me. They're like, "Look, Father Alex, this is you." I'm like, "That's not Father Alex, okay? Father Alex is a spiritual thing." And like, no, no, I have a kid, and because of your channel, I applied what you did, and now I have a kid. I've seen countless of stories. As toxic as you guys might see me, these strategies work to get commitment. Purchase it right now. There's no gimmicks, there's no games. This is meant to allow you to get the guy that you want, get married, and have kids, and you don't have to watch any other channel after this. Okay. And if you don't like it, just get your money back. Look, this is gonna be the best course I'm ever gonna make. And that says a lot. This is gonna be the best course I'm gonna make. So pre-order it right now, or else I'm gonna have to close the channel. And don't forget, if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org right here and book a one-on-one phone call. Take care.
To go further into this point, we're gonna be watching Adam Lane Smith. I think he's a psychologist, and he talks about attachment styles. And look at what he talks about vasopressin that relates to this video.
Do you remember that other hormone I mentioned? Vasopressin. This is the bonding hormone released during times of stress and when you solve challenges together. It's two people achieving a goal together and surviving as a team. So their brains encourage them to link up from then on. Think of a man and his wife protecting their family from
Or like Bonnie and Clyde.
attackers. Think of two buddy cops in a movie becoming closer while taking down a crime syndicate. Think of army friends for
Like even a pimp and his hoes. Baby, I want you to make more money today. Hey, daddy, look how much money I made.
forging a bond for life by surviving and achieving missions against their shared enemy. And then when they're 95 years old, they get wheeled up on stage and they greet each other and they hug and they cry. Think of a husband and wife supporting each other through their child's cancer treatments. This is vasopressin bonding. Vasopressin makes your brain say, this person was my ally when times were hard and when I felt stressed. They helped me fix it. We did it together. I want them around all the time.
Yeah, it's almost like I remember the last girl that I dated. She was actually one of my favorite people that I met, and I think she's been on the channel one time. And when I was talking to her, I was actually creating a meditation group, right? And let me show you the meditation group. It would be kind of cool. It's actually really cool to show it first. And I remember when I first started having those meetings, the meditation meetings, I would get so nervous. You know, I used to be really not used to, but I still am. But I would get really nervous because I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna come. I don't know. It may be a no-show. And she would help me set everything up. She would help me, just emotional support, to be honest with you. And I remember that feeling. Like it's like when we finished it, we were like, oh fucking shit, high five. Like we felt like that we accomplished something. And that feeling is so important, right? Because I remember just thinking back, every time we did an event and we did it successfully, we high-fived each other. It felt good as a guy, right? The connection between me and her would get deeper the more things we did together. She would help me post flyers. She's like, come on, Elijah, let me help you post flyers. Or she would say, hey, you want to come practice basketball with me? Because she played basketball. And so, like, all of that, like, it was actually a really good partnership that we had. Right? Now, it didn't work out because I was the distant one, but I remember doing those things made me bond with her more than almost any activity I did with anyone else. Practicing playing basketball, teaching her basketball actually, and watching her get better. You bond with people. And the problem is that it's not that you have to have something in common. You just have to be working together. Right? Find challenges. Say, okay, baby, let's do a 30-day challenge and do it together. Right? Working together in that way, that's how you grow as people are. Let me show you the art group that I created. And she also helped me with that one too. Man, she was a really cool person. Although Alex doesn't hold grudges with it. So this is like the art group that we would do. And yeah, like at first I was really scared to do these events. But again, like having somebody there, having somebody say, "Hey, y'all, no, that went well. No, don't worry about it, Alexis. It's gonna be better. It's gonna be better next time." That's how you connected with them. And I remember when she left, when we stopped dating, the first few times I did my events, weird, right? You feel their absence because once you're not there, you don't have that support. Right? That's how guys work. They connect through challenges, not through talking. All right, let's keep listening to what the homie has to say. Then we're gonna go back.
Here's the really important part. Men have significantly more vasopressin receptors by nature in their brains than women do. Men are built to solve problems and achieve goals. We're goal-oriented by nature. We have to be achieving goals to really bond. Women neglect this side because they want to make men's life easier without placing any requests or burdens on him, or because some women are not comfortable sharing their needs at all. That leaves most men almost no way to bond. You are a drive-through that happens to serve hamburgers. He throws in a couple bucks, he gets a burger, he drives off happy. That's most women. Hey, come in, give me a hug, we'll have sex, then you leave. Emotionally. Even if you live together, this is still the experience. Men need vasopressin bonding first, and then that drives them to invest emotionally, which opens the door for oxytocin bonding. It's not that men don't oxytocin bond. You must vasopressin bond with them first and then immerse them into a specific type of oxytocin bond.
So that means in the beginning, when you meet people, be a challenge, pretty much. Like give them the challenge of knowing you, of getting to know you, make that challenge. Make them hire me, make them Google, make them work out. I remember whenever this happens, even to guys unconsciously, when you meet a girl that you like, you start going to the gym. And the act of going to the gym to impress her makes you like her more. Think, okay, man, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna make sure she sees I'm fine. You're working for her.
The research shows definitively that vasopressin makes men more protective of their mate and their family, and more affectionate, even with their children.
I mean, look at what happens when people win sports, right? People hug each other, kiss each other, cry. It's true. Like you connect through those challenges, right? And so this is why you have to think strategically. We're not here to be a bunch of Teletubbies and being super nice to everyone. You gotta be strategic because you're dealing with human beings that are not happy, that are complicated, and that they're easily scared off.
If you want his affection to increase, you need to raise his vasopressin levels, which will likely increase his oxytocin desire too. Now, when his oxytocin goes up, his affection really goes up through the roof. If you want that affection with you and your children, and you want men bonded to you quickly, you need to know how to make vasopressin happen.
The next one is very closely aligned with the first point, right? Well, you don't throw your pearls to pigs. It's actually being with a guy that you make it's actually being with a guy that you prioritize, right? A guy that you respect. And unfortunately, if you don't respect men, right, or if you have a lot of resentment towards your father and just men in general, a lot of the times you're going to be attracted to men that give back that disrespectful energy, right? A lot of the times women are with a guy that they just don't respect, plain and simple, right? And when you tolerate being with a guy like that, that's going to be the quality of your relationship. You have to be with a guy that you allow him to lead, right? Allow him to lead and to trust him to lead. The problem is that people just lack trust nowadays. That's the issue, right? And when you lack trust, you want to know what happens? You also attract people who also lack trust. You're going to attract that energy. A lot of the times, lacking trust just means that you've been betrayed in the past. And it was so painful that you developed coping mechanism to avoid that, right? So let's go over here because just Father Alex feels claustrophobic over here. There you go. Back to where we started. Yeah. So let him lead, right? And because of that, you must be with someone who you respect. And this is a problem nowadays. When a woman doesn't prioritize her man over everything else, it shows. It just shows. Again, people are like, why is Father Alex talking like this? Well, because I'm starting to see certain things, people, okay? Most relationships don't work simply because people are playing it safe, right? People don't want to get hurt. They want to look like they win all the time, and they're not putting themselves in a vulnerable position. That's the issue, right? So be with a guy that wants to lead and that you let him lead. If you are with a guy that you don't think he can lead, that tells you something. That tells you something. Like that's a signal from your mind talking to you. If you cannot let a guy lead, that's problematic. You're with a guy that you don't trust, you resent that, and it's best to find somebody who you feel comfortable around. And we're not saying lead in terms of him making more money and him being demanding. No, it's just that you trust him. You know, you trust his intelligence. You know, you trust his judgment. And if you don't trust his judgment, don't be with that guy. Like, it's just that simple. The problem is that we just settle too much, right? We're not asking for perfection, people. Like, I'm not asking you guys to be perfect with the guy. Just make sure he's the right guy. That's the issue. You know, a lot of women treat the wrong guys like a king and the right guys like shit. And it's not your fault. It's just that culture is calling healthy traits needy and desperate and toxic. You know, opening up, telling you want something serious is toxic. No, that's toxic to avoidant men who are incapable of having a relationship. So find a guy that you respect. And if you can't respect him enough to let him lead, then he's not it for you. Plain and simple. Once you find a guy that you respect, you'll notice the way you treat him, it's just going to be completely different, right? I just have to say this, it's so important. So much goes into the guy that you pick more than anything. Because the guys you choose is a reflection of what you deserve. If you keep choosing guys that talk to you like shit, that's a sign that you're used to that chaos, and that chaos will definitely come to you. You know, so what you choose is such a reflection of who you are. Plain and simple. It's just such a reflection of who you are and the environment that you were raised in, man. So did I get that point across, right? Let him lead, and because of that, you must be with someone who you respect. So that means if you don't respect that person, there's nothing I could do. That's his fault. That's him being a little bitch. But also, that's you in your masculine energy. Anytime a woman is with a man who she doesn't respect, she's too much in her masculine. Too much in her masculine. And last but not least, just having a calm energy. Too much aggression, too many emotions that are not regulated creates a lot of drama. When you have a lot of resentments towards the opposite sex, when you're always in a defensive position, that inner tension is going to be reflected in your partner's attitude. One, if you have too much defensiveness, you might attract guys who also have a lot of defensiveness. Too much anxiety, you might attract guys who have too much anxiety, right? But what matters most is just self-awareness of your flaws, right? That self-awareness also calms you down, right? It lowers a man's defenses when he knows that you also are self-aware of your flaws, right? Being able to regulate your emotions and having a calm energy also allows you to ask for forgiveness when you make mistakes. It allows for just easier communication, right? But the problem is that too many of us use relationships as a way to deal with our anxieties. And the problem is that there's nothing wrong with that. Like, partners are supposed to grow from each other's weaknesses and make them strengths. And going from weak to strong together builds the bond, right? But the problem is that a lot of us choose the wrong person to do this with. That's it. You choose the wrong person to do this with. You choose the guy that has no patience. You choose the guy that doesn't know how to control his emotions. You choose the guy that is never there. You choose the guy that has a womanizing problem. Like, you could act right, but if they're crazy, if they're toxic, there's nothing you could do. And I really want you guys to understand this. Who you choose matters more than almost anything. Like, actually, in almost any field, even in creativity, who you choose matters. What creative field you choose, like if you're in a career, matters more than your creativity, because you need something that wakes you up, that excites you. And some of y'all are with people who you don't, who you look at and you're angry. You can't grow with people like that, right? And even if you're calm and you're dealing with a guy who has anger issues and doesn't know how to regulate their emotions, you're gonna become that, because you're gonna get tired of being the only one who could think sensibly in that relationship, right? So how do you do that? Well, watch this video, right? We're gonna go to the blackboard and I'm gonna show you guys how to detach through one of the strategies.
So if you guys are serious about decreasing your reaction and not be so easily triggered, then this is the video for you. Now, a warning, don't fall for the illusion that reacting to those emotions removes the emotion. What it does is that reacting to the emotion by, for example, oh my God, I want to smoke, let me smoke some weed. And so you remove the emotion, the anxiety. It doesn't remove it. It just suppresses it and creates more. That's suppression. This is what creates the problem. Is you not feeling the emotion, you not processing and being conscious of the emotions. Remember, like I always say, let's zoom in right here, okay? This is how your unconscious works, okay? You have your unconscious. This is where your unconscious emotions are. This is how you feel your emotions, your consciousness, and this is where your conscious mind is. You can only feel a certain amount of emotions consciously, right? If too much comes out, you have a mental breakdown. Everyone has a limit of how much could pass through this, okay? What happens is that when you try to fix the problem, imagine this is your unconscious emotions, and imagine that this is the conscious manifestation of your emotion. And you have multiple manifestations of this emotion. And the problem is that this is the line of your conscious mind. This is your unconscious and this is your conscious. And so if you notice, you only get a very small portion of what's here. And what happens is that when you try to fix this, for example, a craving to smoke cigarettes, right? The anxiety causes you to smoke cigarette. And so what happens? The anxiety goes away after you smoke. But what happens? It actually goes back inside your unconscious. And then not just that, it doesn't just go back inside, it adds more. And we all do this our whole lives. And that's why our drug habits and our negative patterns increase. So what you want to be able to do is not be fooled by the conscious manifestations of it, because this is really an illusion. Stop reacting to this. And what's this? This is actually what? Your thoughts, right? Let's move this over here. This is actually the thoughts, images, and your conscious reaction. It's what makes up the illusion of the manifestations of the emotion. So you got to find a way to break through this illusion, because if you just keep reacting to this, what you're really doing is you're just suppressing, and it adds more. So how do you get through that, right? How do you get through that? Like it's a very smart way of the brain of the ego to stay alive. How do you do that? Well, you first have to increase your capacity to concentrate. If you notice anyone who's going through an emotional breakdown, the last thing they could do is concentrate. That's why they tell you, hey, I know you lost your dog, whatever, right? Breathe. I'm like, no, but I lost my dog. What are they saying? Oh my God, about thoughts, images. And I'm like, hey, breathe. In other words, observe. So it becomes difficult because sometimes the emotional reactions are so intense that you don't have the capacity to concentrate while you feel those emotions. So you got to be able to increase your capacity to concentrate. So, and they call this anapana. And anapana is pretty much just concentrating on the breath, right? You learn to just sit and breathe and just increase your capacity to observe the breath and not get distracted. And that's all you want to do. Just increase your capacity and tell your brain, let me just focus here. Concentrate on this area. And this gives you the strength to be able to feel an intense emotion and not look at the emotion, but actually look the other way. And this looking of the other way is going from the thoughts and images, you're bringing it to the where? To the body. Understand, your unconscious emotions are in the body. So this is how you deal, rather than dealing with this, which is this, you go and feel the sensations of the body. And by you doing that, now you're actually dealing with the issue. And when you bring the awareness to the body, what you notice is that when you breathe, you notice thoughts arise, right? Well, because that's actually, you're finally tapping into your unconscious. And by you feeling the body, which is this is actually what you're trying to do. This, by you trying to remove this, you're finally doing it by feeling the body. It actually it's almost like it's like water evaporating. It'll naturally evaporate away. It's not going to come out in the illusionary form. It's just going to evaporate. And with that evaporation comes also the evaporation of the thoughts and emotions. All right? So that's one thing. You first increase your capacity to concentrate by literally doing what they call anapana meditation. And then you begin to observe the reaction, right? So as you're concentrating, you'll notice that, imagine that you miss your flight and now you're sitting and you notice your mind wants to talk about the fact that you miss your flight, right? So what you do instead is that you just sit and scan the body from head to toe. And what you notice is that you actually observe that your mind gets distracted, right? And then you bring back awareness to the body. And then you get distracted. You notice you're thinking of this or that. And then what you're doing is that you're observing the reaction because you're not creating it. Like you're not creating those thoughts. You're trying to concentrate. But the mind keeps creating these things, right? You're observing it. It's like, it's dissolving away. Imagine this is like a cup full of unhappy emotions, right? And your reaction puts a lid on it. So it can't evaporate. You're removing the lid, creating space, and you're allowing it to evaporate. Sometimes it might take a year, but eventually all of this will evaporate. And usually the first things that evaporate are emotions that are not that intense, right? I want to eat this, I want to eat that. But the more you concentrate, then at the bottoms here, very intense emotions arise. And sometimes that's why if you have any form of like mental illness, you got to be careful because these emotions right here can be so fucking intense that you don't have the bandwidth to be able to handle such intense evaporate. You get what I'm saying? So some people, this does not apply for some people because you have so much intense emotions from childhood or there's something wrong with your brain that to liberate yourself from this almost becomes risky, right? So increase your capacity to concentrate will allow you to stay in the body while you're feeling and noticing these thoughts and images. Once you do that, you remove energy from the mental formations by scanning the body. Right? So first you increase your capacity to concentrate by being aware of the one little area right here. Then once you increase that capacity, then you scan the body from head to toe and you scan it in the same direction, the same pattern. You don't allow your thought, oh my God, I'm so bored. And then you forgot where you scanned the body. No, keep the scanning the same way, head to toe. So don't let thoughts and emotions and images change the order of the scanning. So just scan and remember, I already said concentrate, but you're naturally going to concentrate if you do this first part. And this will allow you to be in the unconscious and allow these things to dissolve because you're not here. This, like I said, represents the illusion, the illusionary manifestations of those emotions, and you never really fix it. So that once your emotion lowers, once you sit and just observing, allow this because no emotion can stay at a peak for 100%. once this emotion lowers, then you can act. For example, if you I'm trying to think of something like that. Trying to think of something like that. Okay, let's just say somebody is pissing you off, right? And you're about to text them back. Before you text them back, do the scan meditation until you lower your emotions, and then once the emotion lowers, then send that text. What you will notice is that the quality of your response literally changes, and then above all, because you're not reacting as soon as you feel the emotion, you're actually not reinforcing it. You're not reinforcing it. You reinforce, or better yet, you add more pain whenever you feel the emotion and then you act on it instantly. Oh my God, I feel angry. I lost my dog. Fuck, right? That fuck, that response in aggression actually reinforces it, right? So once the emotion lowers, then you can act. So with this method, you have no reinforcement, no creation of ego, because the ego is this. Thoughts and images, like who you think you are is a thought and an image, right? And it purifies the mind, meaning the emotions dissolve away. That's the purification. And what's this space now? What's this thing that it takes its place? Emptiness, consciousness, who you really are, your true self. Now, there's a bonus. You could practice metta meditation.
All right, so with that being said, as you guys can see, it's really not about changing a guy by how you treat him. No. It's really about finding the right guy that deserves this treatment. And if he's not the right guy, it's not about changing him. You could try, but in that attempt, if you're met with defensiveness and they don't even want to work on it, it's best to find somebody else. I hate to be Mr. Breakup, but this is not supposed to be difficult. You know, this is supposed to be easy when it's the right person. When it's not the right person, it's really difficult, man. You might end up on the phone with Father Alex, all right? Anyways, man, if you guys want one-on-one coaching, go to mindfulattraction.org and you could book a one-on-one phone call with me today. Check out my course, The Commitment Formula. All of these topics that I'm coming up is because of my own research that I'm doing for my upcoming course. Of course, this is Mr. Father Alex, right? Mr. Non-committal, Mr. like all the Sarahs and Emilys in the comment section. Oh, you're always in a new place. I understand, right? It's a little weird coming from me, but I'm just being transparent, right? Hopefully that course can teach you guys something, you know? And it's my own personal journey of me trying to understand myself, and that's why I pretty much is coming up with this course, because I want to understand, you know, these commitments, because at least for me, I've never been a relationship type of person, but over the years things have changed, and so that's why I got curious about this topic, and I really do think this is going to be my best course that I think I've ever made. So pre-order it right now by clicking on the description down below. You're gonna see an advertisement for the course. Take care.
If you guys enjoyed this video, you guys can check out my other courses that are more in-depth and more profound, such as the Psychological Game of Attraction, which is a course for women who are single, Natural Chemistry, which is a self-help course on women on how to build how to embrace their masculine energy, how to embrace their feminine energy, Natural Chemistry, which is a course for women who are in relationships, Charisma Blueprint, which is a course on how to build charisma, Emotional Mastery, which is a course on how to become emotionally resilient. It's pretty much I teach you what I use to manifest my current life, to be honest with you. And you could purchase them all by joining the Mindful Attraction University, where you could purchase all of my courses. Usually all of my courses are $99. If you purchase all of them, you could get, I believe is $3.99. You could purchase them all. And there you'll be able to get access. And if you don't like the course, you guys can get a refund from Father Alex. Father Alex doesn't scam his subscribers. Father Alex is here to help. So if you guys feel like this video helped, trust me, you will like the course, because it's very rarely that the courses that you purchase from me don't work for that, whatever you're trying to. A lot of people purchase Natural Chemistry to improve their relationships with their partners, and it works. There's plenty of testimony. Just go to the website, Psychological Game of Attraction. If you're single and you apply that course, you won't be single for long. right? I'm telling you, if you're somebody who's overly masculine or you have too much feminine energy, check out the feminine woman. It'll teach you how to balance it so that you could have that sensation where you're feminine, but there's strength emanating from you, right? I mean, too many women have that feminine energy, but it emanates as weakness. I'm here to teach you guys how to use your masculine so that you could strengthen and show that feminine energy without really looking way too masculine or way too feminine. And that allows you to have that beautiful balance that men respect, but also find attractive, right? So you can purchase it right now by clicking on the description down below, and I'll see you guys inside. Take care.